Hey guys, Chili here with my guide for the Fume Knight, followed by my fight with him where I defeat him using melee only and no shield, and I take no damage. A lot of people have been having a lot of trouble with this guy, and rightly so. He's definitely one of the hardest bosses in the game, and he's got two swords, the smaller one and the faster one, which can combo you to death, and the bigger one, which can pretty much do a ton of damage. Also, he buffs up his sword halfway during the fight, and that can one-shot you if you're on NG plus and beyond. So he is definitely no joke, this guy. A lot of people, they go for summoning phantoms, other people, which in my experience, even if you have an idea of his moves, it can tend to complicate things. So I generally tend to avoid summoning other people for this fight. And also when you beat him solo, I mean, it's very satisfying. And if your summons happen to die, really quickly or anytime during the fight, I mean, you're just left to fight a really buffed up boss. So I don't recommend summoning help, and if you summon the NPCs for this fight, I mean, they're absolutely useless. One of them keeps on sometimes it keeps on gesturing during the fight, not helping at all, and just they're no help at all. So even if you want help, I would recommend other people and just never summoning the NPC phantoms. But more importantly, you should learn to avoid his attacks effectively, because that's about the only thing that's going to help you. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into the guide proper, shall we? Okay, the first phase of the fight, and he's got two swords, as you've seen, the smaller, faster one and the bigger, more powerful one. His most favorite attack is he'll start off with an attack with his smaller sword, and then he can follow it up with a combo with the same sword, or a horizontal slash with his bigger sword, or a combination of both. He mixes it up. A good idea to evade the smaller sword is by rolling towards his right and to the back, because you won't always be able to tell which attack he's gonna do, and if you anticipate him doing the combo and he ends up doing the attack with his bigger sword, you'll end up in a position where the hitbox of his sword is not gonna hit you, even if you mistime the roll. So it's better just to do it that way. And with the bigger attacks, the horizontal slashes always roll in the opposite direction, never with the swing like that. That can cause massive damage. You end up in the hitbox. You can do a single horizontal and vertical attack. Just evade opposite the swing and towards his back and get a counter. If you hang around his back too long, he can attack you like that with a swing with either his bigger sword or the smaller sword. So you need to watch out for that. All you need to do is swing in the opposite direction of the swing like that. When he gets into a defensive stance like that, do not attack and do not try to heal, because he will punish you with a running attack like that with either his smaller sword or the bigger sword. To avoid his smaller sword, always roll to the right and away from his sword. To avoid his bigger sword, never roll to the right. Always roll opposite the direction of the swing, which is towards your left and towards the back, and get a counter. Okay, so definitely there'll be times when you'll need to heal, and that was not a very good time to heal, as I mentioned earlier. He's basically waiting for you to make a mistake and punish it. Just look at that damage, almost full life gone. What you would want to do is always heal when he's in his recovery animation, like that. Okay, second phase of the boss fight, and in my opinion gets much easier, but he hits a lot harder. First attack slams his sword in the ground, lets out balls of fire, keep your distance and roll inward. This one, roll just as the fire is about to hit you, and with this combo, do not counter attack for a reason I'm going to show you just now. Sometimes if you get behind him after this 2-hit combo, he's gonna retaliate just like that, and sometimes he does that, sometimes he doesn't. So you know, it's a bit of hit or miss, and it can get pretty dodgy in a G+7. So I generally avoid doing that. When should you hit him? He does an attack and then he slams his sword on the ground. That's when you should do a counter, because you're much safer that way. This is a good time to get a counter in. Now he's got another attack where he jumps in the air and attacks you. Always roll to the left or the right. Never roll underneath him like I did here, unless you're going to be sure that you're going to land right behind him, because if you land under him, it's going to do a lot of damage. For his running attack, always roll to the left and away from his sword. He's got a huge hitbox with this buffed up sword, and it can kill him. Okay, second phase, if you need to heal, much easier. He gives a lot of time after his attacks for you to heal, as you're gonna see just now. There's plenty of time for me to heal. And there again, all the time in the world. Okay, so now that you have a pretty good idea of his attacks, let's take a look at my fight with him. As I make my way to the boss room, if you stay right next to the wall like that, you tend to not aggro those enemies, so I just tend to walk really close to the wall. You see me buffing up my sword, which is you can do without buffing up your sword, because it's gonna be a long fight, and even with a buffed up sword I was doing just like 50 more damage. So there's his favorite attack, and as I said in the guide, roll to the right and avoid his bigger attack. There he keeps on doing that attack. The thing about this attack is there's just an instant where you have to figure out whether he's going for the combo with the smaller sword or he's gonna do an attack with a bigger sword, and I think that's what makes this fight really tricky and also a lot of fun. But if you can get back behind him and avoid his attacks properly, you should be fine. Another important thing that I forgot to mention earlier was how important is stamina management in this fight. It's very important. If you take a closer look at my stamina bar, you'll see that I never attack him if my attack is gonna drain my entire stamina bar. If my stamina bar is so low that if I attack him and I won't have any stamina left, I'm just not gonna attack him. I'm gonna wait for my stamina bar to fill up, because you don't wanna be in a position where you don't have any stamina, he's attacking you and you can't roll away. So there's that. Stamina is very important. I get a counter, it's back, running attack, always roll to the right. Again, rolling opposite the opposite direction, getting another counter and another. Now he's wants me to make a mistake now. He's almost there. He's gonna be in the second phase. There he is. He's buffed up his sword. And he's almost halfway there. Okay, now another thing that I would like to mention is I'm playing in NG right now, new game, but I have used a bonfire setting to take this boss up to new game plus. That's why I'm not doing that much damage to him. My character isn't that much higher level. Dark Souls 2 wise, I'm level 160, so I mean that's not terribly high for a new game plus boss. And also I use the soul vessel, and I kind of spread my stats around, so I don't have too much health and too much stamina, and I don't do too much damage to him. So it's basically a fight of endurance. How long can you last? And I feel in NG plus 7 it's gonna be pretty similar. You're not gonna do too much damage to him, and he's just gonna do a lot of damage. So with that attack, this attack can be tricky. It's a lot slower, and the hitbox is huge. So you wanna roll to the left always, like that, and just when he's about to hit you, get a counter. There he goes with that combo again, and I move back as always, not taking any chances with my greatsword. Slower weapon, yeah, not a very good idea, but if I had a faster weapon like a rapier, I probably would have done a quick little poke and then moved away if he decided to retaliate. But with the greatsword and placing like a challenge on myself that I'm not gonna take any hits, I was not gonna take chances like that. So again, I just move away. There again with the counter after he slams his sword on the ground. And again, almost there. Another opportunity for a counterattack. Just 3 more hits, I feel. Well, slamming his sword on, he keeps on slamming his sword on the ground, keeps giving me counter hits. And there you have it, guys. No damage taken, NG plus. I believe my guide should hold up for NG plus and beyond as well. So if you found this useful or like this video, hit the subscribe button or like button, and I will see you next time.